Jacob and Esau, Part 1. Two brothers, one promise, and the seeds of betrayal. Before we begin, take a moment to settle your heart. If you love deep Bible stories that reveal God's truth and speak to real-life struggles, subscribe to this channel and stay with this story until the end. You may discover that the Bible is speaking directly to something in your own life today. Now, let us step into one of the most emotional family stories ever written in Scripture. The Bible is honest about family struggles. It does not hide pain, jealousy, or broken relationships. Instead, it shows us how God works patiently through human weakness to bring about His perfect will. The story of Jacob and Esau is not just about two brothers. It is about rivalry, poor choices, favoritism, and spiritual blindness. But it is also about God's faithfulness, even when people fail. Many people watching today understand what it means to feel overlooked, betrayed, or deeply hurt by someone close. Some carry wounds from family conflicts that happened years ago. Others live with regret over decisions made in moments of weakness. This story begins long before forgiveness. It begins with a promise from God, a divided home, and a single careless choice that planted seeds of bitterness. Let us begin at the very start, before the betrayal, before the anger, and before the separation. Two nations in one womb. Isaac, the son of Abraham, was married to Rebekah. For many years, Rebekah was unable to have children. Isaac prayed to the Lord on her behalf, and the Lord answered his prayer. Rebekah became pregnant with twins. But as the children grew inside her, she felt an unusual struggle within her womb. The movement was so strong that she asked the Lord why this was happening. God answered her with these words, "Two nations are in your womb, and two peoples from within you will be separated. One people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger." Genesis 25 verse 23. From the very beginning, God revealed that this family would not follow human tradition. The younger son would receive what normally belonged to the older. But instead of trusting God to fulfill His word in His own way, human weakness soon entered the story. Two very different sons. When the twins were born, the first came out red and covered with hair, so he was named Esau. The second came out holding Esau's heel, and he was named Jacob. Esau grew up to become a skilled hunter, a man of the open fields. Jacob was quieter and preferred staying among the tents. Scripture tells us something very important. Isaac, who had a taste for wild game, loved Esau, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Genesis 25 verse 28. This single verse reveals the root of much pain. Favoritism entered the home. Instead of unity, division quietly grew. When parents show unequal love, children often feel either pride or rejection. And when that happens, resentment does not stay small for long. A moment of hunger. One day, Esau returned from the field exhausted and hungry. Jacob was cooking a pot of stew. Esau said, "Please let me have some of that red stew, for I am exhausted." Jacob saw an opportunity. Instead of helping his brother out of kindness, he made a demand. First, Jacob said, "Sell me your birthright." The birthright was sacred. It represented leadership in the family, a double inheritance, and spiritual responsibility connected to God's covenant. But Esau replied, "I am about to die. What good is the birthright to me?" Genesis 25 verse 32. In that moment, Esau chose physical hunger over spiritual blessing. Scripture concludes with a heavy statement. So Esau despised his birthright. Genesis 25 verse 34. This was not just a bad decision. It revealed a heart that did not value what God considered holy. Two different kinds of failure. Both brothers failed in different ways. Esau failed by treating God's blessing as something cheap and unimportant. Jacob failed by taking advantage of weakness instead of trusting God's promise. God had already said the blessing would belong to Jacob, but Jacob did not wait for God. He tried to force the outcome with manipulation. This teaches us a powerful lesson. God's promises never require sinful actions to be fulfilled. When we rush ahead of God, we often create pain that lasts much longer than the moment. Seeds of bitterness are planted. From that day forward, something changed between the brothers. What seemed like a simple exchange created deep resentment. Esau lost something precious and later realized its value. Jacob gained something valuable but carried guilt and fear. Hebrews later warns believers with these words, "See that no one is sexually immoral or godless like Esau, who for a single meal sold his inheritance rights as the oldest son. Hebrews 12 verse 16, the Bible does not tell this story to shame Esau, but to warn us not to trade eternal things for temporary comfort. A family quietly breaking. Though nothing dramatic happened immediately, the damage was done. Favoritism continued. Silence replaced honesty. Tension grew beneath the surface. This is often how broken relationships begin, not with loud fights, but with unresolved choices and unspoken pain. God was still present. His plan was still moving forward. But the family was walking toward a moment that would change everything forever. And that moment was approaching quickly. Transition toward the next part. In the next chapter of this story, a blessing meant to bring peace will instead bring tears. A lie will be spoken, a heart will be shattered, and a family will be torn apart. What began with a careless decision will turn into a betrayal that cannot be undone. If this story is already speaking to you, don't stop here. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because part 2 reveals the moment that broke this family completely, the stolen blessing and the lie that changed everything. And before you go, ask yourself this question: have you ever traded something valuable for something temporary? Stay with us for part 2. This story is just beginning.